What's up, guys? We are back at it again with Touchdown Talk, a ZB Media production show brought to you by my friends over at Betstamp. We are covering all of the Week 18 action in the NFL, previewing the games. What are your best bets for it? And looking ahead at the College Football National Championship game between the Michigan Wolverines and the Washington Huskies. So let's talk about it. All right, first things first. Obviously, as a result of the Week 17 games, I'm officially done. Done with the Eagles. They clearly have pissed me off to no end right now. And, so we just gonna not wear that this week and just move on and talk about the upcoming week. But first, let's go over a little bit of the NFL games. Obviously, the Eagles blew it against the Arizona Cardinals. Now, the NFC East is wide open for the Dallas Cowboys to take. All the Cowboys have to do is beat the terrible Washington Commanders team. But if somehow they lose and the Eagles win the NFC East, and they would be the 3 seed. If Dallas ends up winning, they would be the 2 seed. So a lot of things will shake up. You see the Dallas and Detroit Lions controversy game, so let's touch on that. Like everybody has talked about, I've heard both ends of the spectrum. Majority of it is on the Lions saying they did the right thing, and the refs kind of screwed them over. If it's an illegal formation, usually you see the flags go out at the snap of the ball, and it's not a discussion 5 minutes after the play happens. Like, I watched the 2-point conversion, and it was converted by the Detroit Lions, and I turned it off, and I was like, all right, no, let's go to bed. Well, I look at it 5 minutes later, and the Lions lose the game. And I look what all the controversy was about, and I was like, that's a bunch of BS. I don't believe the Lions did anything wrong. It was talked about pregame. But Dan Campbell's so pissed off, he said, fuck it, let's go for it multiple times again. He was going for the win. You got to hand it to him. But after you don't get the first time, you probably should kick it. But as aggressive as that coach is, I can see how he wanted to win it there. Hats off to him. Just turning that entire city around and the organization around. I'm looking forward to seeing what the Lions can do in the playoffs. I'm really secretly rooting for the Lions versus the Browns to go to the Super Bowl. I mean, who's with me? You have two just historically horrible organizations, and all of a sudden they both have legitimate chances to clash in the Super Bowl together. Now the AFC's got to run through Baltimore after they just clinched home field advantage after an ass whooping to the Miami Dolphins. So it's going to be tough to beat Baltimore, especially in Baltimore with that hostile environment. They've got a bye week going in. They're really going to have 2 bye weeks because they're going to rest their starters this week. And Lamar Jackson's back to his MVP form, and I think you'll see him shine in the playoffs, learn from his previous experiences there, and make a run at it. But, man, wouldn't it be cool just to be as confused as possible in a world where the Browns and the Lions would be in the Super Bowl together. I mean, how cool would that be? Come on. No matter what fan of a team you are, except unless you're like a Steelers fan probably, but that'd be pretty damn cool Super Bowl. You gotta admit. So we'll see what happens. I'll make my playoff predictions next week, but wanted to go into that. So before we go into our predictions for the NFL and college football, we're going to do a bonus prediction there. So let's touch on the College Football National Championship, and then we'll talk to you a little bit about my friends over at Betstamp that you see that are on that screen. So, yeah, the college football playoff semifinal, both of them did not disappoint. Fantastic down-to-the-wire finishes. Michigan overcomes a deficit late in the game against Alabama, drives it down. J.J. McCarthy, stone cold. And then Blake Corum, what a dog. Just changing direction, sprinting upfield. The acceleration on that kid is tremendous. And he didn't have as good of a year this year as he did last year, but what an incredible running back. And I think NFL teams will be looking at him pretty dang hard. His stock has definitely risen. Excited what he can do. Not a Michigan fan at all, but seeing Michigan back in the national championship, I mean, is a Big Ten school, so it's kind of cool to see because you don't usually see it. It's somebody different than Alabama or Georgia. So we don't have an SEC team in it, finally. I think it's going to be a shootout. We'll talk about it here in a minute. And then Washington just putting up the points in a complete shootout with Texas. Texas had a last second to throw it in the end zone. It was broken up. And, Washington heads to the national championship. So two undefeated teams collide. So that'll be pretty cool to see. But to preview all these games, let's talk to you about my friends over at BetStamp. Sports betting has rapidly risen in popularity, and I want to connect you all with an opportunity to get started or even get ahead. Having multiple sports books is the most simple way to maximize your profits, and there's never been a better time to sign up. When you visit my page, signupexpert.com/ZB, the one you see there down at the bottom of the screen, you'll be connected to all the sports books in your region, along with a review of each platform and its unique benefits. All these sports books have valuable sign-up offers for new users, and when you register through my link, you'll be automatically receive the top offer of that site. When you use multiple sports books, you ensure that you can always access the best available odds, which is key to successful sports betting. If you want to take advantage of these benefits and support the brand, please consider signing up for your next sportsbook at signupexpert.com/ZB. Check them out, and let's preview Week 18 action and the action coming up for the college football national championship. And we'll talk about what's the best bets. Let's go. All right, to kick off the Week 18 action, the final regular season week, it is the Pittsburgh Steelers heading to the AFC number 1 seed, Baltimore Ravens, on Saturday evening at 4:30. So we got two games on Saturday, Steelers and Ravens and the Texans and Colts. So let's check out what everybody's looking at with the Steelers and Ravens. What likely the Ravens will be sitting the starters. So yes, all the books are showing that the Ravens are clearly sitting the starters, as Pittsburgh is the 4-point favorite on the road. I mean, it's a must-win for Pittsburgh. They have to win, and I believe have to have something else happen. So a little bit of help to get into the playoffs. But how about Mike Tomlin? 17th straight season with a winning record. He's never had a losing record. Insane. Especially what he's done this year and last year to bring that team back around and be in contention for the playoffs. They found something with Mason Rudolph, surprisingly. So, 4-point favorites for the Pittsburgh Steelers on the road. Take that bet, definitely, with the Ravens sitting all of their starters, or at least the majority of the starters. Pick the Steelers in a must-win game. It's going to be a little bit harder. If the over-under is 35, I would go with the over. I think Steelers will put up some points, especially against a backup Baltimore Ravens defense. So I like that one. I like the Steelers in a 24-13 win over the Ravens. Back to the Texans and Colts. This is potentially the AFC South. I don't like the line here. 1-point line, so no one's really leaning on anything. But you know what I'm leaning on is C.J. Stroud. I believe in that kid. I like what he's doing. The winner of this is likely going to get into the playoffs. If the Texans win, they're going to be in the playoffs. I like the Texans to go into Indianapolis and beat the Colts by a field goal, 27-24, lock themselves in the playoffs. DeMeco Ryans, you're going to get a Coach of the Year. And C.J. Stroud, Offensive Rookie of the Year. No doubt in my mind. Let's head to Sunday. First game up is the Browns and the Bengals. Browns are sitting all their starters. There's nothing to play for right now, so the Bengals clearly are 7-point favorites. These are tricky because you don't know how hard these backups are going to play, and Cleveland's been playing with a bunch of backups all year. And the Bengals have been just loitered with injuries throughout the year. I would take an under in this game. It's 37 right now. I'll take it under. But take the Bengals at a touchdown favorite, 7 points. I think that's a comfortable bet there. I would like them in a very barn burner of a game. I can see it coming right now. 20-10, Bengals over the Browns. The Bucks at Panthers. The Bucks control their destiny to win the NFC South as long as they take care of business on the road at Carolina. I don't know why it's only 4.5-point favorites. Carolina is booty butts, but they're not playing for anything. They're playing for spoiler, and that can be a dangerous thing, especially going on the road and playing spoiler against your divisional opponent. They've seen it time and time again, and it's the NFL. Anything can happen, as you saw the Cardinals beat the Eagles. So I do like Tampa Bay at a 4.5-point favorite, though. They had a very odd and uncharacteristic loss last week against the Saints. They were progressing through the season and improving each and every week. I don't know what happened. They had a speed bump. But I would take them at the 4.5 to beat the Panthers. Take the over here at 37.5. There'll be at least 40 points scored in this game, mostly by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, in a 31-13 win over the Panthers. Jets at Patriots. I don't really know what you can bet here. The line's pretty much even. You got Patriots are 2-point favorites at home just because they're home, really. I don't know. Both teams are absolutely terrible right now. Dalvin Cook has mutually parted ways with the New York Jets. So what a just awful season for the Jets. I feel bad for Jets fans. I know a lot of Jets fans. I would take the Patriots at home here to win. They've been playing for nothing and might as well just screw up your draft order a little bit more. Like them by a field goal, but like them in an under. It's 30 points right now, so the under is going to have to be really low, but I don't think it's going to be much of an exciting game. 16-10 over the Jets. The Vikings at the Lions. A lot to play for the Vikings. The Lions, not a whole lot to play for. They could potentially get the 2 seed if the Cowboys lose. So that's why this game is at 1 o'clock, because they're not going to want to watch what the Cowboys are doing. So they're probably going to play their starters, likely. 3.5-point favorites at home against some backup quarterback and backup everything for the Vikings. I'm going to go roll with the Detroit Lions here. I would take them at the field goal, though. The 3.5 kind of concerns me a little bit. Some of the books still have them at 3. Take them at 3. Put it out. I would do under, though. 45. It's a little more high scoring than I think it's going to happen in this game. 21-16 over the Vikings. Jaguars Titans. The next one we have. Jags win. They win the AFC South. But Titans, they're 5.5-point dogs at home. I really want to lean towards the Titans, and to play spoiler here, Vrabel's going to have the guys fired up to beat their AFC South rival. Titans play stout against the Jaguars specifically. That defense is really good. They're going to be firing on all cylinders. I would take an under in this game. It's 40 points. Another low-scoring defensive affair, I believe, but I like Tennessee to win outright. 20-17 over the Jacksonville Jaguars, and Jacksonville gets knocked out of the playoffs after a late season skid. Know a little too much about that, don't I? And the Falcons at the Saints. Must win for the Saints to potentially get into the win the NFC South and get in the playoffs. They have to have the Bucs lose, and they have to win. Saints are at home. Falcons, you don't know what you're going to get out of the Falcons lately. I like the Saints with the -3. You have that -1.5. I would even go with that if you can get on Pro Line up there. But go hit the over in this. I think the Saints can score some points. I think it'll be kind of a surprising one, as good as the Falcons' defense has been. But I think the Falcons have been kind of lost. Take it with a field goal game, 27-24. And I actually said the under there, don't I? It'll be right around there. So That's what I'm going with. Nope, I don't know how to do math. That's over. Cowboys at Commanders. So this is big. The Cowboys are 13-point favorites on the road against the Commanders. That seems like a lot. I don't know if the Cowboys are going to completely, absolutely booty whop the Commanders, because the Commanders, it's an NFC East battle, and they're playing spoiler, like I've been saying, playing spoiler, and you're at home. You got nothing to play for except ruining somebody's season and ruining the Cowboys' season. Why wouldn't anybody want to do that? So I'm going to take Washington on the points here. I think Dallas wins, but I think it's a lot closer than a lot of people are thinking. Commanders were in the 49ers game quite often. I think this could be a shootout. Sam Howell will randomly show up for these big games like this. So hit the over at it's going to be over 46. But I like the Cowboys by 6 in this game, 34-28 over the Commanders. The Kansas City Chiefs and Los Angeles Chargers. So the Chiefs are the dogs on the road because they're resting the starters. They have nothing to play for. They've locked in the number 3 seed. Everything's saying take the Chargers, take the under. You're still going to see the Chiefs defense flying around. Spags will have them ready. Over-unders 35. Go under on this one. A few of these games, unfortunately, is going to be snoozers. So 17-16 over the Kansas City Chiefs. I've taken the Chargers in that finale game. Broncos at Raiders. Neither team's got anything to play for except the Raiders have something to play for, and that's called the coach. They want Antonio Pierce to take the head coaching job permanently next year, and I think he will get it if they're smart to take him. Mark Davis better take Antonio Pierce as their head coach to get his own coaching staff and get them fired up, because I think he could lead them to success next season. Raiders are going to play hard for this coach. They're going to win by at least 3 over the Broncos. The Broncos season's done. They're dead. They'll try again next year. Russell Wilson's out. No, it's just a horrible year for the Broncos overall after some positive vibes in the middle of the season, but it's fallen short. I like the Raiders in this one. I'd take them by a touchdown in this one. I'm going 31-24 over the Denver Broncos. Rams at 49ers. 49ers are resting their starters. So right now, it's got the 49ers as 4-point favorites. The Rams might actually be resting their starters too. So this one's kind of a toss-up if both teams are resting their starters. 49ers just overall just a better team, better scheme team right now. Just take the 49ers. Take them by 4. At home with their backup. Sam Darnold can still sling it, especially in that system. Let's just go with them. It'll probably still be the over. 24-20 over the Rams. Now, the Eagles and Giants, this game is played at the same time as the Cowboys game, so Eagles are going to play their starters. They're 5-point favorites against the Giants. That's a better line than what the last Giants game was. They're at the Giants. Obviously, they're in the Meadowlands. I think the Eagles will win. I said this last week too. But I don't think it's going to be pretty once again. I think they're going to be a one and done in the playoffs. They've already blew their chance at the NFC and potentially 2, maybe even 1 seed too by losing to the Cardinals. That was just horrible. Take the over in this, over 42 points. I do like the Eagles to win. Their offense did look better. If they keep running DeAndre like they should, they'll be able to control the clock and take care of business against the Giants. 27-21. 27-21. Eagles over the Giants. Bears at Packers. Packers have to win to get into the playoffs. Bears playing spoiler, so these NFC North teams like to spoil the Packers, don't they? Jordan Love looks really, really good right now. I would take the Packers at Lambeau. I just like them. I can't really give you much more than how they've been playing. Yes, the Bears have improved, but I like the Packers in the over in this game. I think Justin Fields will run pretty well, but I think Jordan Love will have another solid game. Go Pack Go, get into the playoffs. 31-28 over the Bears. Two more games left. Seahawks at Cardinals. Seahawks also in a must-win with some help. The Cardinals looking better and better, but I do like the Seahawks in this one. I like Geno, DK, everybody like that. So let's hit up the Seahawks. Get them at the 3-point right now. I would take the over. And if the Cardinals' offense can get going like they did last week, it's not playing the same defense, but I think that you'll still see the over. I think you'll see about 48 to 50 points in this game. 27-23 Seattle over Arizona. And the final game, this one is, I'm so excited about this. The AFC East comes down to the Bills and Dolphins. If the Bills lose, they could potentially be out of the playoffs altogether. If the Bills win, they could be the number 2 seed. This is absolutely insane. You don't ever see anything like this. The Bills are actually favorite heading into Miami, and I agree with that, but it's going to be a shootout. Take the over. It's going to be over 49.5 points for sure. It's going to be in the 50s, maybe even 60s combined. I think it's going to be a great game. Take the Bills, take the points. I like them big time heading into Miami, playing spoiler and having a late season run. They're playing really well right now, firing on all cylinders. Bills 37, Dolphins 33. That does it for the NFL. Let's look at college football national championship, why don't we? Washington Huskies, Michigan Wolverines in Houston. It's been 27 years since the Wolverines have been in, and I'm not even sure if Washington's ever won a national championship. Michigan's 4-point favorites. It is, if Michigan can control the line of scrimmage like they did against Alabama, they could have long, sustained drives. They can get stops. They can get to the quarterback. Penix could have his hands full. I don't know. I think this could be quite a farewell for Harbaugh. Before all the NCAA stuff will come down. There's part of me that wants to take the under of 55. I don't know. I think Michigan is going to hold Washington. Not as high as you'll think they would be. I'm picking Michigan, the Michigan Wolverines, to win the national championship over the Washington Huskies, 30-27, and get the natty. Well, that does it. I told you. BetStamp, go check them out. Use my link down below. It is easy to use just like that. Once sportsbooks go live in North Carolina, you'll be able to see it. So probably this time next week, we might be able to see what the sportsbooks look like. And if you're in a state that you have sportsbooks, definitely check it out. And if you're not, there's still plenty of daily fantasy you can play with it. Make sure you're 18 years or older to play. But this does it for this week. This does it for the regular season for the NFL. We're going to be diving into playoff action starting next week, and we'll definitely discuss what happened in the national championship. So make sure you hit that bell, like, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you be on the lookout for any time we post new content, whether it is the gaming section, it is the meme section, or the two podcasts, Touchdown Talk and Horsepower Talk. So we'll see you guys next week.